energy harvesting is messed up. All right, so basically you have a group of people and their primary job is to feed off of other people, okay? And I'll explain how this works. So there are people that literally get off on and get energetic rushes and different spurts of energy, creativity, etc., by being able to essentially feed off of the energy that you generate when you're in stress, when you're in fear, when you're in panic, and when you're in anxiety. Those are the key points there. Not only get a burst of energy, but they also get a high. And as a result, they will manipulate events and put you in situations that are really unfortunate in order to quite literally suck the life out of you, drain you. This can come and oftentimes comes through the form of bosses, co-workers, family members, friends, and in relationships. I don't want to get too deep into this one on this tape, so we're going to jump right into the witchcraft stuff. 10 signs that you are or have undergone witchcraft, all right? Let's first look at the candidates, the type of people who will be potentially targeted for witchcraft by narcissists, by narcissistic psychopaths. Women who are educated, women who are of sound mind, women who manage to get all of their bills paid on time. You can be any of these, by the way. Women who have a clean criminal record, women who have a clean bill of health or are in good physical condition, take care of themselves well. Women who can hold a job. If you, for example, have held a job for the last 2-3 years, it could be at a Kmart, a grocery store, a gas station, it doesn't matter. Women or men who own a business or who plan on owning a business at some point. Why? Because this shows sound mind, some type of structure, okay? And men or women who have traditional values and a moral compass. Why? Because narcissistic psychopaths do not have this. So you can be any of these things. And I want to talk a little bit about this because somebody might think to say, I've never gone to jail or I don't have a criminal record, that's not a big deal. But to a narcissist or a sociopath who has, it's everything. Men or women who could hold a job. Most narcissistic psychopaths, most sociopaths cannot. They can't hold a stable job. They cannot provide stability typically. Men and women who are educated and or of sound mind. Okay, these are key characteristics, again, that they're going to look for. So if you fit into any of these categories, even one of those out of 8, even one of those, you are a potential target for a narcissistic psychopath or sociopath. Okay, so let's go through those again. Women who are educated. I'm going to say women, but again, it could be men or women. Women who are educated. Or if you're a woman of a sound mind. Or if you're a woman who manages to get all of her bills paid on time, has her finances in order. You don't have to be rich. You don't have to be well off. You don't have to be successful. Women who can hold a job. Let's say you've been at the same job for the past 2-3 years. Okay? Women without a criminal record. Never been to jail. Never been to prison. By the way, sociopaths look for this type of thing. Women who own a business or plan on owning one, who have a solid structure, such as, I'm going to go down to the small business center and I'm going to apply for a loan, or I'm working on writing a business plan. These are the types of things that are going to trigger you as a target potentially to a sociopath or a psychopath. Men or women who have traditional values, a moral compass, traditional values such as wanting to own a home, have a family, get married before having a family, practical values, okay? So that's basically the gist of that. If you're any of those things, you're a potential target to a narcissistic psychopath or sociopath, any of those. If you are any of those, you are a potential target for, unfortunately, witchcraft as well. Why? Because a person that has a sound mind, a person that's focused, a person that's stable, a person that's logical, a person with a moral compass is probably not going to allow themselves to be subject to what the narcissistic psychopath and sociopath has intended for you. It's very bad. It's very diabolical. We're not going to get too deep into the mind of a sociopath or psychopath at this moment, but I do want to give you 10 or 11 telltale signs that you have been under psychic attack, energetic attack, have received spiritual warfare and most definitely have been the victim of witchcraft. Now, unfortunately, witchcraft is something that, because of the way our culture is, because of certain social media apps, because of the internet and the free flow of information, witchcraft has gone through some type of a revival over the past 2-3 years. And now there are many more people, men and women, practicing it. Okay? It's very disturbing because if you're a person who is not spiritually armed, if you're a person who is not aware of these tactics and what's going on, it can and will potentially destroy your life. So here are a few telltale signs. You don't have to experience all of these. It could just be a few. Or it could be you experienced one of these and then you experienced another one. But it's all tied within a certain time period. You'll know. Number one, this is kind of an obvious one. If all of a sudden there are fly swarms, okay? For example, you go to walk up to your doorstep and there are hundreds of flies that are just swarming around outside of your door and it's appeared out of nowhere. Doesn't make any sense. This is ancient. This has gone on since biblical days. That's how serious this is. That is a sign of the demon. I'm not going to specifically mention the demon's name because we're not going to, use those names on here, but this is a telltale sign that you most definitely, almost 1,000%, especially if you've never experienced this before, are under a witchcraft attack. Okay, so that's number one. And that is a sign that they're trying to infiltrate. Number two, and this is going to be one of the most obvious telltale signs. If you feel unusually tired, but it's not a normal kind of tired. It's a tired like comatose. It's a tired like you have been shot up with anesthesia. It's a tired almost like trance-like. Or you wake up, you start your day, you feel good, and it comes out of nowhere. And it's almost like a foggy, sleepy tired, as if you've been drugged, right? This is spell casting, and more than likely there are some negative things or diabolic things that are going on. We'll get into that a bit more and what is happening with that in just a moment. Number three, loss of interest in normal activities. And I'm talking about activities such as going to the gym and you've gone to the gym every day for the last few years. Talking about enjoying going to the farmer's market. Or it could be simpler things such as enjoying photography, loving to draw, loving to listen to musical theater plays, etc. If you've lost interest in these things and time is just going by and the days are just passing by and you have no interest in these activities, this is a telltale sign that you are under some sort of attack. Another sign is intrusive thoughts. Intrusive thoughts is, I'm not going to get into using the lingo of like demonic oppression versus demonic obsession versus, we don't need to do that. We just need to get to the heart of the matter in this tape. If you have intrusive thoughts that are going against your own logical mind, right? So for example, you don't want to see an ex. You have no interest in an ex. However, you keep having thoughts such as, I hope he calls me. I want to see him again. Maybe I should reach out. Maybe I should talk to him. And you're like, what the heck is going on? I have no interest in this person. I don't want to see this person. I don't have feelings for this person. You may not even be that attracted to that person, but it's like you're being flooded with these thoughts, right? This is a directed energy attack. And we're not going to get too deep into the details metaphysically as far as directed energy attacks. Intrusive thoughts, or when your mind is being flooded with emotions or thoughts or feelings that you don't agree with. You're sitting there with your logical mind like, this doesn't make sense. This isn't like me. Another really strong example of a witchcraft attack is if you're having thoughts of doing something reckless that you don't want to do, such as going out to a bar and getting drunk, and you don't do things like that. Running off to a club and partying, and you haven't partied in 8, 9, 10 years, and you're not interested in that stuff. Or why don't I just go to a casino and live it up on the town? Like, thoughts that your logical mind is like, why am I thinking this way? Why am I feeling... Reckless thoughts, things that you're like, something is wrong, something is off. Why do I feel like I just want to just give up, give in, just go for it? Just, it doesn't matter. Spend all of your money in your bank account. Self-destruct. Just, if you're dealing with these odd thoughts, it could be symptomatic of witchcraft attack. We're talking about essentially when this stuff comes out of nowhere and it's particularly tied to a person or a group of people, and you've never quite experienced this before, or you have off and on, but you just know something isn't right. Intuition is key here when you're dealing with any kind of witchcraft attack. This is a big one. This is going to help you identify what kind of witchcraft they're trying to do, and this will also give you some tools so you can correct it. Feeling like the life is being sucked out of you, particularly within, if you know about the chakra system and you don't have to, I can understand how some people would think that it goes against Christianity. I'm only using the word chakra just so you can visualize the areas of the body, okay? Because witches do operate by using chakras. If you look at their old ancient witchcraft books and spell books, they use chakra systems when targeting spells. So even though you may be a Christian and you're not into that stuff, it may be important to look at a chart just so you know where those areas are on the body, because those are the areas that they specifically target, okay? Witches and warlocks tend to work on all of the chakra systems, but the main ones of value to narcissistic psychopaths and narcissistic sociopaths are going to be the sacral chakra, the solar plexus chakra, and even the root chakra. The sacral chakra is the majority of, unfortunately, that's really energy that they're after right now. The sacral chakra is going to be what controls passion and creativity. Energetic vampires tend to look for psychic vampires, witches and warlocks, tend to want to gain more sacral energy. They want that passion energy because they can use it for their love magic. They can use it for drawing in more victims and more people. They want that energy because it sparks a fire, I guess you could say. I don't know if I want to use the word fire, but it sparks something in them. That's the main energy that they look for. The second one that I see the most of is the solar plexus energy, and the solar plexus is going to be right around your navel. And that is where confidence comes from and willpower. That's your get up and go. That's your, I'm going to get this done today. They tend to target those energies, and also the root, which is going to be right below, around the pelvis area, at the base of the spine. And that's going to be your stability, your foundation. The lower chakras are usually what they try to affect with witchcraft attacks, from, what I've noticed, what I've seen. And with the lower chakras, what you're going to feel like if you're under attack is almost as if there's a pulling of that area. And it's a really weird feeling. It almost feels like someone's literally trying to suck the life out of that area, or like take a vacuum and vacuum the energy out of that area and make you feel off. And it's energetic. It's not something that you can physically feel, maybe a little bit. You might have itching in that area, those areas. You might feel, like, for example, with the solar plexus or the navel area, you might feel like a tension there, or a queasiness or butterfly, something that's a little different. But for the most part, it feels like it's just weaker. It's hard to describe. But if you feel these odd sensations going on in different parts of your body, but it'll literally feel like someone's trying to pull something. Another symptom of witchcraft is feeling like you're in some sort of a mental fog, okay? Feeling like you're in a mental fog or a daze. Spell, okay? Feeling like you're in a mental fog or a daze. Spell. Okay? After we get through these symptoms, we have to get into what to do about it. The next stage is foreign emotions, such as a childlike fantasy or childlike love in a non-sensible way. And I'm not talking about manifestation or visualization or creativity or productivity, or one day I'm going to own a bigger house, or one day I'm going to have, whatever kind of a sports car. I'm not talking about that. Or, this week I might get a big sale. I'm not talking about that. What I'm referring to is weird fantasy thoughts that don't make any sense, such as thinking that somebody's going to come over and hand you a check for $10 million out of nowhere, or feeling like the person that you were with is going to come and get down on one knee and propose to you and tell you that they love you and you guys are going to go live in paradise together. Now, you got to be really careful with these thoughts and these thought forms, because unfortunately, narcissistic psychopaths and sociopaths do play into that and may craft up an illusion that looks quite similar to that. Where do you think all of these get-rich-quick schemes come from? Where do you think these stunts come from where, yes, they might come back and get down on one knee and propose and claim that you guys are going to take on the world together? Okay? So if you start feeling these feelings of this childlike wonder or this childlike fantasy, be very, very, very careful of that. Because more than likely and realistically, it is a spell that is being sent your way. The narcissist already understands that you are operating with that thought process because they are the ones that sent that spell. Do you understand that? That is crucial to get in this tape. We're talking about scam artists. Scam artists who practice witchcraft might send you over a spell that will make you think that you're about to get this big money opportunity. Something that comes out of the blue, some type of big offer, and you're going to be rich, and you're going to buy a condo, and you're going to get a yacht, and they might send over a spell to you because they are targeting you as a victim. And when they come in with this scam, you're more susceptible to it because you're like, I knew this was going to happen. I was waiting for this. I just had a dream about this last night. Wow, that's all I could think about the last few days, and all of a sudden you're coming with this opportunity? They've planned it. This is how witchcraft works. So because witchcraft is so huge right now in our country, it's time to get gamed up. It's time to get gamed up because there are people practicing this and it is real. There are people practicing this stuff and it is real. And unfortunately, if you don't believe in it or whatnot, you might fall victim. Haven't you guys heard of these schemes where a person is swept off their feet by a man or a woman? It's a business owner, it's a successful woman or a successful man. And all of a sudden this woman comes in and just takes everything, leaves him with nothing. And then we look at him and we're like, oh, he was stupid or he was silly or he should have known better. He was probably under a spell or witchcraft. Okay? This has been going on for centuries. But we don't take in that part. People do it every day. Or a man falls in love with a woman that everybody can see is no good for him. And it doesn't make sense. She's obviously ripping him off. She's obviously lying on him. She's cheating on him. She's doing all of these things. But he still is helpless to her. And people are like, what's going on? Has he lost his... It might be some spell work. Not all the time. There could be other issues going on. Or it could very well be spell work. Another sign. If you stop caring about things that you used to find important. Things such as if you have children, picking up your children from school, feeding your dog, and you love that dog, and you don't really care about feeding it as much anymore. You don't care about taking care of it. And the dog was like your little baby, right? If you find that these things that used to be really important just take on less importance, if they aren't significant to you anymore, if you find that it's just like, oh, well, I don't know, spell. You have to know this because these people are practicing witchcraft and black magic. You know, I'm a sociologist. I have 5 degrees. I graduated from one of the top universities in the country, the #1 school in the country for sociology and social science. And I've been studying this for about 2 decades, human behavior, culture, social systems, social networks, you name it. I have studied the occult for numerous years. I've had a lot of supernatural and mystical experiences that we'll go into as we go along. But when it comes to witchcraft and dark magic, it wasn't until I directly encountered people that were practicing the black arts that I learned, holy cow, this stuff is real. And I'm not going to go into any details about that, but I don't recommend, here's what I don't recommend you do. If you've dealt with a narcissistic psychopath, a lot of narcissistic psychopaths practice witchcraft, practice sorcery, practice black arts, whatever you want to call it. There's a few reasons why they practice it. I mean, For starters, they're mentally stunted. They have ideas about magical thinking in order to gain control over the person that they're trying to get something out of. Yeah, they do. Especially if you're any of those signs that I mentioned earlier. Logical, sound mind, or educated, clean criminal record. Someone who wouldn't get involved in some of the things that they might want you to get involved in. And when I say some of the things they might want you to get involved in, these are a type of people that if you're a woman that is prosperous or has a business or a home or just takes care of all of her bills on time, has a nice apartment or comfortable, try to take everything from you. Your bank accounts, your cars, your clothes, everything, anything they can. Or get you on drugs. Or put you out on the street. Or traffic. I can go on and on. It gets pretty dark. And the reason why I'm saying this is because if you're in your logical mind, if you're self-sufficient, if you're practical, of course you wouldn't go down those paths. If you're a successful man who's built a business over 25 years, of course you're not going to give away your entire life savings to a woman you've barely known and have only known for 6 weeks. Okay, they know this, which is why they have to go to the next level of practicing things such as the black arts, black sciences, hypnotism, etc. If you have gone through these things, here are some things that I do not advise. Do not pay for healings, because a lot of these practitioners are people who practice the arts themselves and will see you as an easy target and may start doing things that are elusive to you as well. So they might see you as a money grab. And there are many men and women who have been trapped in these so-called healing cycles or healing journeys and paying out thousands and thousands of dollars and going on retreats and caught up with other witches and other warlocks who will target them, who will entrap them, who will encircle them and get them caught up in more nonsense. Okay, so that's number one. Number two, be very careful with special meditations or incantations or special breathing exercises that are designed to open up certain parts of your mind or designed to take you deeper. A lot of these are possibly hypnotic inductions, subliminal mind control techniques, things that are actually designed to make you more susceptible to narcissism and psychopaths and sociopaths in the future. So essentially it's like going from one criminal to another, and they're all in this together, okay? Because this is a demonic network and we're going to get you out of it.